Super good for you there. Welcome you on the show. Sports update on Trust TV. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe. Well, we'll be starting our show with a Super Eagles story. According to the newly appointed coach of Super Eagles, Finidi George, is already talking that Eagles will qualify, despite the fact that we are standing third on the log. That doesn't stop us from qualifying. According to him, Super Eagles will qualify for 2026 World Cup with NIFF and Nigerians support. That's the clause attached to it. And joining us to talk for this hour is Sunday Unuyenu. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you just saw that particular situation that has to do with Finidi saying NFF, Nigerian support is needed for us to be able to do what? Qualify for World Cup 2026.
Without any iota of doubt, I believe Nigeria can get the qualification, having slightly lost against our Ghanaians the other time, and we couldn't make it to Qatar. But I believe these guys can really start early camping and get the needed victory in this coming World Cup qualifiers, because they should know that they are not just professional for their club. There is need for them to be patriotic. There is need for them to be outstanding as individuals in their career. We recall the days of Daniel Omokachi, Amunike, Stephen Keshi, Samsi Siasia, of course Victor Ikpeba, and the likes of sensational Bafemi Martins. These guys always giving their best, and of course you will want to stay to the blast of the end of the whistle. Whenever Super Eagles want to play matches those days, for those of us who grew up in the center of excellence or sports hub in Africa, Lagos City, you want to stay till you celebrate these players while they finish playing. Stay around them because they always give you the needed victory or moment that you want to savor. I'm super excited for Super Falcons who have made it just like the D-Tigers to the Summer Paris 2024. I just believe the Super Eagles newly tactician, Finidi George, is quite an experienced coach. We work early on time to put a whole lot of finishing touch to the current Super Eagles players, and the team should know what is at stake. It is a World Cup qualifiers. They have to get the chances. Whenever they come, they should claim those chances, because we slightly saw them losing and not making it to the final podium for the summer 2024 Olympics that is forthcoming in the men category. And it's quite a shame. If we claim we are giants of Africa, we should be giants in every angle, including football.
Well, talking about Super Eagles now, that particular team, we know how good they were at the AFCON. No one thought that they could get to the final. But currently, we're standing third on the log. Rwanda, South Africa, Nigeria, Benin Republic, all of them are really trying to see how they can route to get to the Nord. It's a tough one, a very tough one. But the coach is already saying NFF and Nigerian support.
Perhaps when it comes to early campaign, remunerations and wages, allowances, payment, as well as Nigerians are being given a free opportunity to go and support whenever they are playing those matches, mostly on the home soil. I believe the supporters club as well are to up their game, not just playing the band, not just dancing. One way or the other, psychologically, they need to encourage these players. Most of these players you see, they are not just professionals. Of course, they are human too. They have their ups and downs in life. So when they see the federation support from the NFF, from corporations in the country, from individuals, and an ordinary man giving them the needed support, they are going to have it as a morale booster. If you are familiar with the northern terrain, whenever the same Masugida boys or the Kano Pillars and some other teams are playing, you see how an average marketer, an average salesperson on the street, we want to rush to the stadium to get that moment. I believe those days where football was taken as a culture in the country in the early 80s and late 70s, and of course early 90s, we have to start having it as a recovering thought in our mind that we need to go back to those days where football was like our #1 hobby or culture in the country, because these days we give more attention to politics and of course entertainment, and rather building solidarity around our national team in sport. And it's quite disheartening, it is quite touching, being the fact that these guys are the ones who go abroad, who go to represent the country. And of course, whenever our country flag is being, or national anthem is being exhibited or shown outside Nigeria in Olympic Games, in World Championship, it is indeed, Commonwealth as well, it is indeed an encouraging one. So Nigerians should give it a second thought, that football is not just our culture, sport should be our culture and business. Whenever our athletes are about going for Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and World Football Championship, they should give them the needed support.
Now, talking about that particular one, attention has been drawn to Super Eagles having to look inward. The home-based players should also be given a chance. A lot of Nigerians are calling on Finidi George. That we remember that Keshi went to AFCON and he won it with about 6 home-based players. And now, what stops Nigeria? Does it mean that there is no player in the NPFL that could make it to make that cut to Super Eagles? And at a time when they even give them the nod, only one, either a goalkeeper, we saw it was Olorunleke that he took to AFCON, and was there the goal? No, Trout. So it's becoming a norm that you just pick one player from the NPFL, and even the player will not see the light of the day to play on the pitch. So something must be done to see how they can inculcate the home-based players to join the Super Eagles player, because during 1994, I still remember, West Ham picked most of them from the Nigerian league before they travel to Belgium to begin to sign for all those clubs.
Well, I think a whole lot of sentiment and bias has really come to play over the years, and I must be honest with you, if opportunity is given to the national coaches to go to our leagues to scout for players and of course observe what is going on within the terrain in the women football and of course in the men football matches, is going to be a morale booster, is going to be an opportunity. A player is not just discovered from the home soil and trade abroad and let them be. No, they should not have the mentality of saying, oh, this one is doing well in Europe, is doing well in abroad, America or Asia, and bring them back to the national team. It should not just be a regular culture. They should also be an opportunity whereby fantastic players, sensational player, and of course active player who are giving in their best in the field of play in the domestic league should be selected as well. It should be a fair play. If I want to use the word 60-40, I think that would be a fair play.
Talking about Super Eagles there, 60-40 should have been the best, so that we have 60 foreign players and 40 home base to develop our own football players across Nigeria. That confidence that they need. Well, Finidi Joy is already talking that Nigeria will qualify, but seeking for support for the Nigerian Football Federation and also those Nigerian both at home and abroad too. Well, we hope that they will qualify for the World Cup 2026. From there, let's talk about one of the players of Super Eagles who plays for Fulham. He has been nominated right now for the Player of the Month award for April. Well, they call him Nigerian Maldini. His name is Calvin Bassey. Fulham nominates Calvin Bassey for Player of the Month, April.
Quite expected, because I saw how this young man hold on to the defense, and he gave Nigerians a lot of hope while we were playing or featuring at the AFCON. I think Calvin Bassey has a long way to go, being the father is still a young superstar. Now that he has made it to the EPL and of course he's doing well, he should keep doing what he knows how to do best and ensure he is focused and determined to continue his career improvement. Nigerians should also rally around support around this young man who is very outstanding.
Fulham nominating Calvin Bassey there. Hopefully he will get the nod to win that particular award there via voting. And now we're moving away from that story. Let's talk about the English Premier League match that will be coming up tonight. Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur is a derby in London, and you know anytime it's a derby, it's a tough one between the two clubs. What happens to the Blue? What will they do? Can they turn things around tonight against Tottenham Hotspur? Well, we wait to see. But quickly, let's go on a short break to look at that, before we look at that story. Right now, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea.
Sanchez saves and spares the Chelsea blushes for now. But
English Premier League there, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur. Let's look at that story. Well, Chelsea battles Tottenham over there in London tonight. In the derby, big one quickly, Sunday.
Well, it's indeed a derby, but I believe Chelsea can get the win because head-to-head, these guys stand a chance. But looking at the fact that Tottenham also want to get a fantastic run and, of course, end the league on a successful note, these guys will come out very strongly. But I believe the Blues have what it takes to stand them at the bridge.
Well, let's see. Maybe it's true that they have what it takes to stand at the bridge to make sure they defeat Tottenham Hotspur. Both of them know how to play one another, or each other rather. They know how to play each other, and they are ready for this. Well, for the Blues, this will be an opportunity for them to also see how they can close the gap by moving away from where they are in that particular position on the log table. Well, that game will be coming up tonight, but they are in London City, where it's a big rivalry between London clubs, Arsenal, Fulham, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, all vying for result anytime they meet themselves. Right now, let's cross over and talk about the big match for tonight, also in the Europa League, and also look at Europa Conference League. Let's look at the fixtures first. In the Europa League semi-finals, where Olympic Marseille will be facing Atalanta, Roma at home against Bayer Leverkusen, and we know how good Bayer Leverkusen has been this season. Do you think Roma have what it take to outrun them? Then Marseille too against Atalanta. We have our own Ademola Lookman there for that club from Italy.
Well, I may not just predict, but for Bayer Leverkusen, Xavi Alonso has done the needed job. He has to keep the team running. He has to make sure the team stay focused and stay put to give in their best. Having unprecedented record in the Bundesliga, I believe these guys still have what it takes to win the Europa because the team is still much together. They still have they are highly motivated currently, and of course the experience from the head coach is going to give them the needed victory if they know how to do it well this time around, because Europa football is different from Bundesliga football, and it's quite obvious that their opponent is coming out for them in full force.
Marseille versus Atalanta is a game that is very dicey. You can't just underrate either of the two teams. But right now, maybe because the Nigerian is saying Atalanta will win.
I won't be that sentimental, but I look forward to see a 50-50 match. At the end of the day, a winner should emerge.
Okay, winner should emerge. They are talking about Europa League, the second tier UEFA competition in Europe after the Champions League. Let's look at Europa Conference League now, the third tier. Aston Villa at the Villa Park against Olympiacos Piraeus, where Fiorentina play host to Club Brugge of Belgium. What a match coming up there. Well, I think I love the Europa League and Europa Conference League. No domination, right? Here, right now, in the Champions League, you have two German teams. You have one French and one Spanish. But this time around, look at this. England,
one
Greece,
England,
Italy,
one Greece,
Belgium.
One Belgium, of course. Well, at the end of the day, the final whistle will be blast and the winner will take it home. I wouldn't want to say Aston Villa can get the win over their opponent. Neither will I want to pick the other side against one, because these guys
against Fiorentina.
Yes, these guys know what is at stake. It's a journey towards the final, and everybody really wants to be in the final, just like players or athletes anticipate to be in Olympics and Commonwealth Games and World Podium Championship. Of course, if you get to the semi-final, you will wish you get to the final so that everyone can see you colorfully display your skills and talent.
Talking about the display of skills, Aston Villa under Emery, they've really done fantastically well this season. EPL, they are doing well, and now they are also trying to see how they can make it to the final of this Europa Conference League. Aston Villa tonight, you see them winning, even though you've been sitting on the fence.
Well, I still sit on the fence. I wish they get the needed victory at first half. Then possibly they can consolidate on that at the remaining 45 minutes before the blast of the final whistle. Perhaps they could get the win.
Well, let's see maybe how it's going to be. Aston Villa, Olympiacos, Club Brugge against to Fiorentina in Italy, in the city of Florence there. Let's go back to the Europa League now, the fixtures of Europa League, away from Conference League now. You look at this play, the same thing is, okay, we have two Italian teams.
Two Italian, and of course one German
one French,
team,
one German.
French team. So, well, Bayern Leverkusen for me is almost 70-30 against Roma. Because currently Roma is passing through a lot, and being the fact that the sun is smiling or shining around Leverkusen currently, and these guys are
you stylishly saying Bayern Leverkusen will beat Roma?
Well, of course, it's possible because these guys have really shocked the world lately. They came as underdogs and they pick up the league. And of course, these guys are still together. They still have this moment of victory that they are savoring a couple of weeks.
That unbeaten run.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago. And aside the fact that they have this unbeaten record, they also have an experienced coach. That is something that will give them an edge over AS Roma. And being the fact that Atalanta is going to square up against the French side, I just want to see this game come up, and of course the winner should take it on.
The winner should take it off. For all the Nigerians playing this league, Europa League Conference, we wish them the best as they prosecute these games in the second tier and the third tier of UEFA competitions there. For Champions League, it has been a big one where teams like PSG, they received a peep from Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, you have to play for another second leg in that encounter 2-2. And you can't take anything away from all the teams that have played so far in this competition. Now, let's quickly run through some transfer gossip before we wrap it up. As we start with Arsenal. Arsenal are ready to listen to offers for Gabriel Jesus this summer. According to the news reaching us, they are ready to listen to offers because Jesus seems to be one player that they can do away with. According to the news, well, let's wait and see what's going to be happening concerning that particular one there when transfer transfer deal will actually be open there. Well, Newcastle are closing in on Fulham defender Tosin Adarabioyo on a free transfer. A lot of clubs have been showcasing their mindset to see how they can sign Tosin Adarabioyo. Newcastle is one of them. We also heard that if AC Milan is also looking at getting him to join them over there in Italy. Well, anything can happen in world of football, but Newcastle are also interested in this defender, Tosin. Another one has to do with Dortmund, but Dortmund could bring their former coach now, Jurgen Klopp. Back in 2025. Well, Klopp will be ending his career with Liverpool at the end of the season, but it's possible that Borussia Dortmund, where he actually held sway before, could be gunning for him to bring him back as head of football in 2025. Let's wait and see. Maybe after some rest, he will take over at the Signal Iduna Park. Well, the last one has to do with a team from Brazil, Fluminense. Fluminense present proposal for defender Thiago Silva of Chelsea. That is the story we're looking at. Fluminense, right now, they want to go for Thiago Silva, and right now, they want to go for him, and they already present their proposal to see how they can sign the Chelsea player that will be ending his career with Chelsea at the end of the season. Well, it's going back home to the Brazilian League there. Those are the transfer gossip that we have for you on the show. Sports update on Trust TV. Sunday, thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I'm Adeniyi Ajisafe. As we always say, that sport is business and fitness. Thanks for watching.